Welcome to this tutorial on creating your class in the Wellness Universe Learning Platform. Here I'm giving you an example in the Lounge. This is our main learning platform every member of the Wellness Universe can utilize to teach on. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step through the setup process so you can confidently publish your class and begin sharing your expertise. Before you begin creating your class, though, it's important to decide which type of class you want to create. You have two main options. One is a one-off class. This means your class stands alone and encapsulates everything you want to teach in a single session. It's perfect if you're teaching a specific topic that can be fully covered in one experience. Or you could do a multi-session class or course. This is designed for a series of connected sessions. It allows you to dive deeper into your subject and guide participants through progressive learning over multiple classes. This also applies to an interview series, like Wellness Quarters, for example. So in this tutorial, I'll show you how to set up both types. So you'll see exactly how the process looks, and whether you're offering a one-time class or a multi-session course, you'll be able to do it after viewing this tutorial. So let us begin. You'll see that you are logged in to your Wellness Universe profile with your personal instructor's account because your photo would be in the corner. You want to click on that photo and you want to go to Create a Class. So here is a newer version of the back end of the Create a Class. Now there's an area for duplicate prior class info. So if you had a prior class that you want to duplicate, you can start off there. A new class is started off here. So what you want to do is you want to enter a class title. A suggestion is to keep your class title as short as possible because your class title becomes the URL for your class. The longer the title, the longer the URL. If there's a way to create a class title that is 3 or 4 words, and then if there's a longer title, you just include that in the description. So I'm just going to put test in here for now. It's mandatory to select a class category. So you check off a class category. If you want to do a subcategory, you can do a subcategory. Now there are other tags that you're going to attach to your class later on that's going to include your class in main categories at the very top of our learning platform. So we can go over that later. To add an image, you browse your computer. It gives you an idea of what the proper size is for your session. You'll upload the image, and then you'll put in a description. These are all mandatory areas, and you cannot move on unless you fill these areas out. Here it says add relevant class tags. This is really important because at the front side of our library, at the very top above the classes, there are circles of categories, and some people may just go to that category and see what classes are in that category. So you definitely want to utilize the different tags that are here because this will put your class in that bucket. So if it is mindful, it contains mindfulness, it contains healthy lifestyle and spiritual wellness, and let's say that's it. I want to say that my class can fit into these 3 categories, and please only pick the categories that your class can actually fit in. Now, while there are thousands of categories our classes can fit in, we have selected just a few to be most popular categories that are in our learning library homepage. Okay, so if you want to embed a video, you actually can just grab your video URL over from YouTube and put it here. It can be the embed code, it can be the link to the video itself, and that will show up on your class page. You have a separate area to add your introduction video to who you are on your instructor page. So this video is specific to the class that you're setting up, where you want to explain and express exactly what it is that the student will be experiencing in this specific class and what their takeaways are. So we highly recommend and encourage you to create a short video, 30 seconds to 2 minutes at the longest, about your class. So that way the student gets a little preview of what your class is. Here's another little tip. That little video, we've learned that sometimes students confuse that with that being the actual class. So you may want to introduce yourself with, this is an introduction to my class, How to Live Your Best Life. Make sure you register by clicking the button above. What you can expect from this class is something like that. May be a really great way for you to create this video for your class. You want to click on this if you need to add more than the 5,000 characters that are allowed to you up there, because add more info would just add more information to your class page. The maximum number of participants, we suggest you leave that open unless you actually are setting up a class for a very specific group of people, and or you only want a certain amount of people in your class. Because once you set that maximum number of participants, even on the recording, that's the amount of participants that can be part of your class. Your advanced virtual classroom settings are here, and you can select any of these. It's up to you how you want to run your class. We do say with some consistency that you may want to limit the availability that students have to turn on their video or turn off their video to join you on video. Now, by default, any students that are in your class will not be seen in the recording. However, their voice will be recorded. The only problem that we've encountered is that sometimes people have distractions going on, people moving in the background, pets, they're not set up to be an instructor and they're just joining. So sometimes we find it a bit of a distraction when students do have their cameras engaged and or they experience tech issues, and then you spend some of your vital time trying to help people troubleshoot the tech issues. So therefore, we typically say, unless it's really important to your session having people live on video, that we recommend that you don't. And they will not show up in the recording. Their videos will not, unless you actually check this off here. Okay. So then you want to edit your privacy options if the class is public for everyone. If it's a private session, you'll want to click private and you want to include an access code. For the most part, unless you're doing a one-on-one or unless you're doing a private session for a membership or something like this, you'll want to have public enabled. The discussion board, you have a little discussion board that's also attached to your class where your students who are enrolled on your class can post on that discussion board. And you can also you can post something on the discussion board too. And when you do, it goes out to all of your enrolled students. So that's a really great little feature and function that is part of having your class posted. And again, those messages are only going to go out to the folks that are enrolled in that class, not your entire student body. And you'll find your entire student body is located on your instructor page for the totality of the people that follow you or that have enrolled in any of your classes. You'll have the total amount of people that are your student body on your instructor's account. I'm going to continue. So here is where you can upload class materials, and you want to give it a title, and then you want to upload any type of document that is depicted here. Okay, so the class documents will only be available once people are enrolled in your class. And if there's a class video link, you can put it here. So, and then you would click add to class. I would not put a class video link. You want to go live with your class. So that is like the purpose of how we operate the lounge. And then you're recording your class as you're giving it. And that will be the recording that stays in your library and also is embedded in the lounge library and in Learn It Live library. So you create a class schedule. So if going back to what I said at the beginning, if you want to create a one-off class or a multiple session series. This that you're creating right now is the class page. This class page is the description of your class or course in general. And you can also put details like in session 1, expect this. In session 2, expect this. You can include all of that. So you just get one, for lack of better terms, landing page for your class or program. All of your information should be reflected on that landing page. All of your sessions within this class can be listed individually and also entitled individually. So let's do this, test 1. All right, we're just going to add it for tomorrow. As you can see, this is August 20th that I'm creating this on. So here you'll see all of the information for the one session. Now, what's interesting about this is you can actually click on here and edit right here. Okay, test. All right. Test. I've just renamed it, and that's what will show on the class page. Now, I also want to add subsequent sessions. Now, what's fun is that I could put test 2, whatever I want to entitle this class. Like first class was Introduction to Assessing What You Need to Heal Within Yourself, for example. And then class 2 is Common Ways Our Traumas Show Up. Class number 3 is whatever I want to entitle it. For example, I'm just stating you can name your class anything you want your sessions, anything you want as you're listing these classes. So let's say I want to do this like every Thursday. I'll just click the next Thursday. And of course, also, please notice that you can change the time here, folks. I forgot to mention that a second ago. So you want to make sure that your time is accurate, your date is accurate, and you want to add the session. And again, you can click in here and change that. If you want to change the date also, you don't even have to edit it here. You can go right into here. Okay, like you can put the cursor right there and your calendar will open up there again. So you want to save that. Okay, let me do that again so you can see. All right, so we can edit it right in here. So we want to click continue. I have 2 sessions listed. Click continue. So no, it's free. Now here's a really interesting option that we like to work with. We like to post classes free, but when you do that, you can also accept donations. So even if it's free, and that's all, like really you just wanted to offer it free, it's no harm in putting a donation up, because if you put a donation up, maybe they will, maybe they won't, and that's fine. So if I put in a certain amount for the suggested donation, the system automatically gives they double the amount, they cut it in half, and they cut it in half again, and they give you all of these suggestions. So you can leave all of this up. You can uncheck the ones that you don't want to show. And also there's going to be a box that people can let the user choose their own amount. And typically in the past, we've either had people pay the suggested donation, or they've used this box to put their own amount in. Sometimes we have the people pick the least amount that you set. So we kind of suggest to have that one fee, the 50% off fee, and then the choose your own amount. You can put who this donation benefits. And again, this is not a tax deductible donation. It's just a pay what you can for the class donation. Please understand that. So if anybody asks you, now, if they're a business owner and they're coming to your class, they can write off their classes as a business expense, typically. Letting you know that that's a little side note. So normally, once you have a student body built up in your instructor's account, you want to leave this checked, because you want to let all your students know, if that's your intention, that you just posted a new class. So you want to keep that checked. We have about 10,000 students in the Wellness Universe instructor's account as of today, so I want to uncheck that, because for the purposes of making this tutorial, I do not want our students knowing that I'm creating this, just so you can see what we're doing here. So, and you can actually have this publish at a certain time, which is great, and a new feature that they've added recently, or publish class immediately. What's really great is that if you are, a night owl and you're creating your class at 2:00 in the morning your time, but you wanted to publish at, let's say 9:00 Eastern time, so that way your students know, at that time, they're going to get the notification in their inbox at like 9:00 in the morning, which is a great feature. You want to set your class to publish at a later date and time, just like you're sending an email, right? So you'll want to finalize this, and then it should take us back out to the class page, and we can preview exactly what this looks like, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, here we go. So this is what a person who visits this class page would see. Now, normally this would be robust and filled with a big class description, folks. And here are the donations, and here is that area where they can put in their own. And if I was to put in a video, it would appear above this. So this is the link to my instructor's account, and people can view the profile of the Wellness Universe instructor's account. And essentially, here's the class, and people can enroll in it. For me, as the instructor, it says upcoming. For someone else visiting the site, it will say register now. And then if I see these tags here are connected to, let me show you one thing. Open in a new link. Let me show you, like, for example, personal development and coaching. These are the classes that appear in personal development and coaching. All right, and then this class would appear, actually there it is right there, in personal development and coaching. If I take you to the home page of the lounge, you will see here are those buckets, and this is why I say it's important to pick those tags when you're setting up your class, because some people like to just say, oh, let me just go see what classes are yoga. I want to take a yoga class. And then you're seeing all of the yoga or movement classes that we have. So that's why those tags are really important. Anyway, whether you're setting up a session for the lounge or you're setting it up for one of our client portals, this is the standard operating procedure to set up your class as an individual class or as a multi-class session. Let me take you to Wellness Quarters as the example, as I mentioned at the beginning, what a multi-session class looks like. Even though Wellness Quarters is not a class, we call these classes because that's what's being created, whether it's a program, a podcast, a webinar, whatever you want to call these, we refer them to classes or program page. So here is the full robust description of the program, Wellness Quarters. And then if you scroll all the way down, you'll see all of the recordings, and you'll see each one has its unique title, sharing who the guest is. And if you're a member of the Wellness Universe, I highly encourage you to be interviewed on Wellness Quarters. It's one of your benefits as being a member of the Wellness Universe. So we have these wonderful, how many recordings? Oh my goodness, so many recordings of this wonderful program that Gail Nowak hosts. And then it shows the upcoming one. So right now, as I visit this, since there are recordings, I can view any recording I want, and they're all down here. And the upcoming will show join live 30 minutes before the session goes live on August 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so here's how you set up your class. And if you have any questions, just reach out to us. Email us at membersonly@thewellnessuniverse.com. membersonly@thewellnessuniverse.com. Or if you have specific emails for myself or one of the other team members, you can reach out to us as well, and we'll point you in the right direction. Thank you so much. Wishing you lots of luck, and can't wait to see your classes posted in the lounge or on our partner platforms.